Hello, Newcastle fans. Let's talk about what went down at Anfield. Because, let's be honest, it wasn't the performance we were hoping for. The mighty Newcastle United, the best club in the world, went toe-to-toe with Liverpool. And while there were moments of promise, the final result left us frustrated. One of the biggest talking points? Callum Wilson leading the line in the absence of Alexander Isak. Now, Howe made a bold call by resting Isak due to a slight groin issue, something we didn't even know about before the game, and that meant Wilson had a huge opportunity to step up. But unfortunately, it just didn't click for him on the night. The first half saw a golden chance fall at Wilson's feet. One of those moments where you expect the net to ripple, the away end to erupt, and the Geordies to drown out the Scousers. But instead, the chance went begging. Liverpool fans had a field day mocking Wilson, and you could sense the frustration creeping in. Eddie Howe, though, was quick to defend his striker after the match. Speaking to BBC Sport, he made it clear that Wilson is a player he trusts, saying, "Callum, Wilson will always back himself, and we back him to take the chances. They are not easy opportunities. He played well tonight, led the line, and played well. That's classic Howe, always backing his players. But let's be real, it was a tough night for Wilson. Newcastle failed to register a single shot on target. And while that's not entirely on him, it highlights just how crucial Isak has become to the way we play. When asked about the lack of attempts on goal, Howe admitted, "Not good. Can't sit there and say we planned that. We had opportunities. Obviously, you're not going to get an abundance of chances here, so when you do, you have to take them. And we didn't do that tonight." If we dive into the numbers, they don't make for great reading. Wilson had just 17 touches in 69 minutes of football, barely involved. He managed 2 shots, neither of which tested the keeper. The service wasn't exactly flowing, but you'd still expect a little more from your main striker in a game like this. The reality is, Wilson is struggling right now. We saw flashes of this against Nottingham Forest, where even Anthony Gordon was visibly frustrated with him. And with his contract running out in the summer, the big question is whether he's got enough left in the tank to contribute in these crucial months. Let's not forget, Wilson has been a great servant to this club, a big game player who has stepped up when we needed him in the past. But football moves fast, and if Newcastle want to keep pushing for trophies, we need our strikers firing on all cylinders. One thing's for sure, Isak can't come back soon enough. His movement, his finishing, and his all-round presence were sorely missed against Liverpool. This game was proof that Newcastle United need their Swedish talisman fit and firing for the challenges ahead. So, what do you think, Geordies? Should Wilson get another chance to prove himself? Or is it time for a change up front? Let me know in the comments. Alright, Geordies, let's shift gears and talk about Newcastle United's next big move in the transfer market, with Alexander Isak attracting serious interest from Premier League rivals. The Magpies are preparing for the possibility of life without him, and that's where Hugo Ekitike comes in. Now, we've been here before. Ekitike was on Newcastle's radar a couple of years ago when he was making waves at Reims. Back then, he chose Paris Saint-Germain over us, which, let's be honest, didn't work out too well for him. But now, after a solid season at Eintracht Frankfurt, he's back in the spotlight, and Newcastle are reportedly keen on bringing him in. So, what's the deal? Reports suggest Newcastle would have to fork out $80 million to sign the 22-year-old striker. A hefty price, no doubt, but let's break it down. Is he worth the investment? Ekitike's numbers don't lie. First, let's look at what he's been doing in Germany. Ekitike has scored 12 goals in 22 Bundesliga matches this season. Not bad at all. That's a 0.634 goals per 90 minutes ratio, which means he's consistently finding the net. His overall goal involvement is even better. 15 goal contributions in total, goals plus assists, averaging 0.8 per 90 minutes. And here's the key stat. His non-penalty XG per 90 minutes is 0.61. That tells us he's not relying on spot kicks to boost his numbers. He's getting into dangerous positions, making clever runs, and scoring open play goals. Now, let's talk about his playing style. Ekitike is a quick, technical forward with a natural striker's instinct. He loves running at defenders, making those sharp movements in the box, and he's got the confidence to take players on. He's tall, agile, and unpredictable, the kind of striker who can cause serious problems for Premier League defenses. But here's the thing, $80 million is a lot of money for a player still proving himself. Yes, he's been excellent for Frankfurt, but the Bundesliga is not the Premier League. The intensity, physicality, and defensive setups in England are a different beast. What does this mean for Isak? Let's address the elephant in the room. If Newcastle are chasing Ekitike, does that mean Isak is on his way out? We all know the big clubs are sniffing around. Manchester United, Arsenal, and Chelsea have all shown interest. Newcastle won't sell for less than $150 million, but let's be real. Not many clubs are willing to splash that kind of cash. That means Newcastle could keep Isak if the right offer doesn't come in. But if a club gets close to that asking price, it might be tough to say no. And if Isak does leave, the pressure on Ekitike would be immense. Is Ekitike the right fit for Newcastle? Here's the real question. Is he the right striker for Howe's system? We know Howe demands a lot from his forwards. It's not just about scoring goals. You need to press, link up play, and work hard for the team. Isak does this brilliantly. Wilson, at his best, did too. But can Ekitike handle the physical demands of the Premier League? That's the risk. If Newcastle spend $80 million, they need him to hit the ground running. He can't afford a slow start. The fans won't be patient if he takes 6 months to adapt. We've seen it before. Some players thrive in England, others struggle. Final thoughts. A big decision ahead. So, Newcastle fans, this is a massive summer ahead. If Isak stays, Ekitike could still be a great signing as competition. But if Isak leaves, Newcastle must be 100% sure Ekitike is the right man to replace him. $80 million is a huge investment, and while his talent is undeniable, it's a gamble. If it pays off, Newcastle get a young, hungry striker who could be a star for years. But if it doesn't, it could set us back big time. What do you think, lads? Is Ekitike worth the risk? Should we push to keep Isak instead? Let me know in the comments. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, away the lads!